innovation and advancements, the switch to online education has been ensuring that students suffer no loss of studies. It is probably the first time for India to experiment with the educational system and make a paradigm shift to the virtual world, blending classroom with online learning. On behalf of webinar organizing committee, Ramananda College and Garhbeta College, I welcome you all, and I want to say all of our state level webinar on digital divide and role of libraries during COVID-19 pandemic, organized by Central Library and IQAC of Ramananda College in collaboration with Central Library and IQAC of Garhbeta College. I am very thankful to the principal, IQAC coordinator, librarian of Garhbeta College, because the webinar is organizing jointly. Digital divide has now become a burning issue in today's world. Access to the right information through proper channels have become a challenge to the students of our country. Initiatives taken by Ramananda College will help students for our institution to access the right information. The e-resources and e-content page under library tab of our official website will help the students to access various information from various sources. The website will also keep our students upgraded about our college related information. I hereby conclude my address that everybody who are present here for this inaugural session of this webinar, I welcome and congratulate to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam, for your valuable and informative speech. Now, I would like to request Principal of Garhbeta College, Dr. Hari Prasad Sarkar, to deliver his welcome address. Over to you now, sir, please.
Audible?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. My best wishes to all of you on behalf of Garhbeta College. It's my great pleasure to join this one-day state-level webinar on digital divide and role of libraries during COVID-19 pandemic, organized jointly by the Central Library Garhbeta College and IQAC Garhbeta College in collaboration with Central Library Ramananda College, Bishnupur and IQAC Ramananda College. I convey my sincere thanks to the authority of Ramananda College, Bishnupur, especially Professor Samuel Sadra, Minister of State, Panchayat and Rural Development, and PHE, Government of West Bengal, and President Governing Body, Ramananda College, and Dr. Sapna Ghodai, Principal of the college, for selecting our college as joint collaborator to organize this seminar. I heartily welcome today's three eminent resource persons and speakers, Sri Pranav Hajra, Librarian Sidhu Kanu Birsa University, Purulia, Dr. Soumen Mallik, Assistant Professor, Department of Library Information Science, Vidyasagar University, and Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu, Assistant Professor, Department of Library Information Science, Vidyasagar University, and express my sincere thanks to them for sharing their valuable time with us and to deliver their speech today. I also welcome all the participants from various institutions, and also my thanks to my dear colleagues who have participated today in this seminar. I think the topic of this seminar is most pertinent in the present perspective when the students are highly confined to their home since the month of April of this year and have no scope to access libraries for their studies and academic interest. However, the alternative mode to access facilities of libraries using smartphone or laptop is also highly restricted to the rural students due to three basic problems: having no smartphone to all the students, and also due to very poor internet connectivity, and also due to some socio-economic problems at their localities. So the digital divide is a vital problem and a real barrier to access library facilities in the present pandemic situation. I hope today's discussion will help us to solve some problems to provide facilities of libraries to the students and all users. I think all the participants will be highly benefited from the discussion of three erudite speakers who have joined today. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your high spirited speech. Uh, for this webinar, we are very much grateful to our respected GP President, sir, of Ramananda College, Professor Shamul Satra, Minister of State, Government of West Bengal, and as well as TV President Sir of Garhbeta College, Sri Narayan Chandra Maiti. We are also thankful to Principal of Ramananda College, Dr. Swapna Ghoroi Madam, and Principal of Garhbeta College, Dr. Hari Prasad Sarkar. Last but not the least, we are grateful to IQAC Coordinator of Ramananda College, Dr. Narendra Ranjan Malos, and IQAC Coordinator of Garhbeta College, Dr. Prithvish Kumar Hait, and all other technical staff for their active support and to conduct such a program. Now, we are very much glad to announce that though it is a state level webinar, uh, but we got several responses from various parts of India as well as abroad. And a large number of candidates are joining with us. We are thankful to all those participants who have shown their interest and joined in this webinar. Your cordial presence in this webinar will lead this event to a new dimension. Now we are going to our lecture session. Uh, for that, before that, I invite my colleague, our one of our coordinators, Sri Pranab Chatterjee, librarian of Ramananda College, to say a few sentences about the webinar and necessity of the theme. Pranab, please.
Thank you, Shravani. Nowadays, a huge number of information are available in our fingertip 24 into 7. But the gap is still exists in our world. Digital divide, simply we can say the gap between those who can use and access information and who cannot. Libraries can play a pivotal role to bridge the gap between groups by providing access to right information. In this pandemic period, we are connected to internet. During this lockdown period, access to the right information become difficult. So in this situation, libraries can play a role to provide access to information with user. Some major objectives of this webinar are the thought concept of the term digital divide, a brief view into digital divide in Indian and global scenario, role of libraries to bridging the gap between access to information, and last, the access to relevant and authentic information through ICT or information communication technology. Thank you, Shravani.
Thank you, Pranab. Uh, Now, uh, today we lucky to enough to have such personalities among us whose precious discussions will give this webinar a magical touch. The first speaker of the webinar is Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu, Assistant Professor of Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University. And our second speaker is Dr. Soumen Mollik, Assistant Professor of Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University. Finally, we listen to Sri Pranab Hajra, Librarian of Sidhu Kanu Birsa University, Purulia, West Bengal. Before entering into current discussion, I like to draw a kind attention to all the participants. You please feel free to put your question in YouTube live chat box, and our eminent speaker will try to answer those questions after completion of their speech one by one. Uh, uh, Now I would like to request our first speaker, Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu, to enlighten us with his intellect. Before that, I please let me allow to introduce her. Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu has completed her BLIS and MLIS and PhD from the University of Calcutta, India, a gold medalist at both BLIC and MLIC level. Dr. Bhattacharya Sahu has completed 10 years in PG teaching. She is presently the assistant professor in Vidyasagar University, Medinipur, West Bengal. Before joining Vidyasagar University, she was the University Research Fellow at University of Calcutta. She has authored a book, edited a volume, and published almost 35 research articles in reputed national and international journals. She has also delivered invited lectures on a number of occasions in state level, national, and international conferences, and has a good number of papers presented in conferences. She has been the principal investigator in two projects funded by the University Grants Commission (UGC) and Indian Council of Social Science Research (ICSSR). She is the recipient of Southeast Asian Subsistence Fellowship for scoring highest marks in BLIC exam in 2006 and Young Information Scientist Award from Society of Information Science, India, in the year 2010. Her domains of interest mainly are reference sources and services, information products and services, community information services, and bibliometrics. May I now invite Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu ma'am, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Srabonikaro. Thank you so much. And very good afternoon to all of you, to all the participants and our respected organizing committee from Ramananda College, Bishnupur and Garhbeta College. I must thank, first of all, the organizers of this particular state level webinar on digital divide and the role of libraries during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I must thank you I must thank to the principal sir from Garhbeta College, Dr. Hariprasad Sarkar. Thank you, sir. I must also thank the GB president of Garhbeta College, Narayan Chandra Maiti, sir. I must thank principal ma'am of Bishnupur Ramananda College, Dr. Shopna Ghorai ma'am, and also the GB president of Ramananda College, Professor Shamal Shatra, for inviting me to deliver and to share a few thoughts of mine on this very important topic, that is digital divide. Last but not the least, I must thank our students from Vidyasagar University who are now holding posts of librarians in both these colleges, Proloy Bhattacharya, Pornok Chatterjee, and Sravoni Karo. And I must also thank the IQAC coordinators for inviting me to deliver this lecture. So before I start, I want to present a few slides with you. I'm trying to present this. Just a few minutes. Please allow me.
Yes, ma'am. Continue, please.
Yes. I'm just ready. You please allow me to share this. The organizers, I'm requesting the organizers to share the PPT. Please allow me. Is it visible?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Not yet. Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
So please, I'm not getting the sharing option. Proloy, can you help me out for this?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, sharing option is not seen here.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yes. Sharing option is actually not coming in my screen. So I think it's better you organizers please share.
Ma'am, on the right corner of your screen, can you see a present now option?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
on that present
I'm
now.
going with that only, but when I'm going to share now, so,
Yeah.
so now it is coming. Now it is coming. Just a minute. Now slowly it is coming. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start with this. I think all of you can see my first slide. That is, I have put a question over here. That is, bridging the digital divide, is it possible? When the organizers of this particular webinar called me up and asked to talk me on this particular topic, I was thinking on my mind that yes, whether really it is a possible event to bridge the digital divide. So within the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you my thoughts on this particular area, definitely with some evidences and definitely with some statistics that has been seen while I was going through some of the papers and some of the things that has been already discussed in the various arenas. So the first slide of mine, you can see that people lifting up their hands and someone with a smartphone in his or her hand is just putting it in front of them. So it's quite speaking that how or what we are facing in the terms of digital divide. So let me proceed further. So digital divide, an overview of this digital divide. What is it? The world, we can say, it can be divided into people who have and people who don't have the access and the capability to use the modern information technology, such as the telephone, television, or the internet, and take advantage of its their usage. So we know that there are many haves and many have-nots. So throughout the world, we can divide the people into the haves and the have-nots, definitely. And it is not only with the smartphone, it is also with any type of technology, any type of information technology, like that of the telephone or the television or the internet, and like that, everything. So as a result, a mass divide is being actually created across the society, affecting economy, education, information access, etc. So what is happening because of this type of information technology divide, because of this division, that is information haves and information have nots. So it is seen that it is affecting what? It is affecting the economy, the education, the information access, etc. This mass is dividing us. So it is the major concern of the governments and many citizens also around the world. So it is the major concern of every people. We are thinking that who is concerned, but really, while going through the different papers, while going through the different talks, I've seen what? That it is a major concern that people are concerned, and government also of every country is concerned regarding this, that who are having the information and who are not having the information. Because information, as we know, it is the most vital element in a human being's life. Without information, we cannot step forward. We cannot move a step forward without this type of information. So the digital divide, therefore, exists between those in cities and those in the rural areas. It is very much clear. We all of us, we will agree with it. That definitely those who are living in the cities, they will be benefited than those persons who are living in the rural areas, rural remote areas rather, very remote areas. Those, they are not getting the technology properly. It also exists between the educated and the uneducated. Definitely it will exist between the economic classes and between the more or less industrially developed nations. Basically, it is existing between the literate and the non-illiterate people, as well as between the economic classes and between the more or less industrially developed nations. Definitely, the developed countries, as we know, they are the information superpowers. They are having the information, they are having plenty of information, and that's why they have become the information superpowers, and they have become the superpowers themselves. If you speak of USA, if you speak of China, so they are definitely the superpowers because they are having more information. So this is basically the overview of the digital divide that I have seen. Now this origin of this term, particular term, that is digital divide. This term initially referred to the gaps in the ownership of computers between the groups, during which time the increase of ownership was limited to certain ethnic groups. Actually, it referred to the gaps in the ownership of computers. Definitely, between the groups, during this time of increase of ownership was limited to certain ethnic groups, and it came into regular usage in the mid-1990s. Though the term had previously appeared in several news articles and political speeches as early as 1995. President of the United States, Bill Clinton, and his Vice President, Al Gore, used the term in a 1996 speech, first time in Knoxville, Tennessee. Larry Ewing, a former United States head of the National Telecommunications Infrastructure Administration at the Department of Commerce, Assistant Secretary of Commerce and Technology Advisor to the Clinton administration, noted that a series of the NTIA surveys were catalysts for popularity, ubiquity, and redefinition. And after that, what we have seen that the NTIA of the US Department of Commerce, they published a report, a research report called as the Falling Through the Net, a survey of the have-nots in rural and the urban America in 1995, which reported on the internet diffusion among the Americans. And this report revealed a widespread inequalities in national ICT access with migrant or ethnic minority groups and older, less affluent people living in rural areas with low educational attainments being especially excluded from internet services. And since the start of this George Bush administration, they tended to focus less on the gaps. It was their attitude that they tended to focus less on the gaps and device and more on the steady growth of the broadband access. So here you can understand that with the change of the rule or ruler, we can say rather, they were just focusing on something different. They started to focus rather on the steady growth of the broadband access, especially amongst the groups formerly believed to be on the wrong side of the digital divide. They tried to show that no, there is no digital divide basically, and whatever they are doing or whatever is there, it is showing steady growth very much. Now, let us come to the digital divide definition. Here. So this digital divide, this term has been describes the uneven distribution of information and communication technologies in ICT in society, and it encompasses the differences in both the access, that is the first level digital divide we can say, and the usage, that is the second level digital divide of computers and the internet. Between what? Between the industrialized and developing countries, that is called as global divide. Various socioeconomic groups within single nation states, that is called as social divide. And third is, that is the different kinds of the users with regard to their political engagement on the internet, that is democratic divide. In general, those differences are believed to reinforce the social inequalities and to cause a persisting information or knowledge gap amid those people with access to and using the new media, that is haves, and those people without, that is have-nots. Now, according to this OECD 2001, the term digital divide refers to the gap between individuals, whole households, businesses, and geographic areas at the different socioeconomic levels with regard to their opportunities to access information and communication technologies, basically. And this definition is exclusively focused at national and international level. So, digital divide, it has been defined by Kull in 2003 as the metaphor used to describe the perceived disadvantage of those who either are unable or do not choose to make use of ICT in their daily life, basically. Now, let me come to the next slide, that is the general understanding of this particular term. What is the general understanding? From the above definitions, world can be divided into two sets of people, definitely. Till now, I think that all of you can well say this thing, that two sets of people will be there who have and who do not have access to ICT, basically, information and communication technology, or the ability to use the technologies, internet and other modern artifacts such as the telephone or the television. It does not only include the smartphone or a laptop, it also includes the telephone and the television, that is the part of the technology. Such differences are more prominent among the rural and the urban population, poor and the rich people, and among the developing and the developed countries across the globe. So, besides the digital divide exists based on race, gender, geography, economic status, and physical ability. In scales, knowledge and ability to use information and other technologies, and in broader sense, the digital divide exists in global, regional, national, and state level. So, last thing is very interesting, last point here, that is sometimes digital divide is referred to as the homework gap. Basically, you can now very well recognize, those who have children in your homes, that without the technology, how difficult is it to make the children sit and do their homeworks nowadays? Because of this huge pandemic, as they are not going to any other place, they are not going out, they are not going to their schools or their tuition classes, tutorial classes, etc. So, to make them do their homework, what we need is technology, because the technology has been used or is being used nowadays everywhere to supply to actually the teachers are sending their homeworks by means of the technology only, either through WhatsApp call or some Zoom meetings, or some they're conducting the classes through the Google Meets, they're sending the questions to Google Classrooms, like that they are doing. And definitely the students also, they have to do it and just submit it by means of the technology only. So this digital divide has been referred to sometimes also as the homework gap, because we cannot do anything without the help of this technology. At sitting at home, we can not support ourselves without the technology age during, at least in this particular situation. Now the next thing I'm coming to, that is the digital divide types. Let us come to the types of the digital. So all of us, we can see very fast we will do this. That is the education divide. All of you will agree. If there is technology divide, there is digital divide. Definitely, it is affecting the education that we are seeing every time. Every time the newspaper reporters are reporting that those remote areas, remote villages in our country, definitely, and outside world also, the remote places, they cannot have the access to technology, and so the students, they are quite away from the textbooks. They are not getting anything to read and like that. So there is the education divide. Access divide. If we have digital divide, definitely we cannot access the things that we want to. We cannot access the very relevant documents that are available through the internet. Definitely. So there is the access divide. Physical disability divide. Definitely. Physical disability is also one type of divide. The physically, that is the challenged people, they cannot go and they cannot visit the libraries, we can say, or they cannot go to the institutions every time. They can sit at their homes at least in front of a laptop, and they can get their information in their desktops or laptops, whatever it is. So that is also one type of divide. Yeah. Language and cultural divide. Language divide, this is very prominent in our country. Actually, we are speaking so many languages. No? So basically what is saying that whatever many people are not knowing, or they are quite ignorant of the English language. They are not very familiar with the English language. But most of the things that is being shared on the internet, that is in English language. So they cannot read those documents, those very valuable documents. Or probably some document is published in a Spanish language or German language. That is a very valuable document. But people, they do not know that language, that particular language, and therefore they cannot access that document. And again, there is the economic divide, economic classes. According to the economic classes, there is definitely the divisions. So economic divide is there. Telephone divide is there. Telephone. So many of the remote places, they are not getting the networks. There is poor connectivity. 2G is still existing. 2G, they have 2G phones, but 2G has been stopped. So how can they access how can they get the information through their telephones? So therefore, there is the telephone divide. Electricity divide. Nowadays also, till now, there are many remote places, remote villages in India, which are secluded from electricity, where electricity has not reached yet. Or there is very, we can say that there is a single phase connection. Single phase is there. So when there is no electricity, then definitely the people cannot access documents in a proper way. And transport divide. So very remote places are there where there is very communication barrier. Conveyance is not there. Proper conveyance is not there. So that is also one type of divide, creating a divide. Because people from those places, they cannot visit the distant places to get their information, definitely. Then lastly, there is the printing. Printing divide is what? That is, there is some people, they cannot get the printed documents. They're not able to access the printed documents in a particular time. That is being published, and after several days, they are getting that. They cannot access those documents. They cannot get the copy in hand. So therefore, that is also creating one type of divide. So you can see that there are 9 such divides, that is digital classified or categorized as the digital divides. On the next slide. So here, let me come to the next slide. That is the world internet usage and the population statistics. That has been seen from Miniwords Marketing Group. They have compiled it in 2020, Internet World Stats. it is showing, you can see that the world regions, they have been divided into 7 world regions: Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, Caribbean, Middle East, North America, and Oceania or Australia. And as you can see here, that Asia, it is definitely combining with China and India. So we are having China and India with us. So Asia, that is having the maximum population, that is 55.1%. And the internet users also, that is maximum in Asia only. That is penetration rate, if you can see, but that penetration rate is quite low here than that of Europe or North America. North America is the highest, followed by Europe. So you can see here that Asia, though it is having the most, it is densely populated, but still that penetration rate of the internet world internet usage is low as compared to the other regions of the world, internet world, you can see. So here you see that is internet users in the world by the geographic regions. That is Asia is maximum, millions of users according to March 2020 reports. It is millions of users, 2300 millions they are using this time. Internet is being used by that. But if you can see that Asia region, that is Asia only if you see that again they have seen the penetration population and internet usage as 55.1%, internet users as 50.9%, but rest of the world penetration is 65.2% and internet usage is 49.1%. So very near you can see. Though the population is so much, but still the internet usage in Asia is quite low, as you can claim. Now, this is the Asia internet use population statistics data. Okay, and from that Asia, if we come to India, let us see what is the status of India. India, if you can see, just after China, we are the highest populated nation. And here, internet users also, according to the year 2000, and also in 2020, you can see, just after China, we are the second nation who are using this much of internet. So, and but you can see here a very interesting fact that Facebook users are much more in India than that in the China. Though they are using internet more, but you can very well see that Facebook users are more in India than that of the China. So these are some other nation statistics. I'm not going through the details of that. But let us see what is the 2017 and 2018 statistics as reported in National Sample Survey Report.
It's a humble
Page
ma'am,
number
please.
585. Household social consumption and nutrition. So nearly 4% of rural households and 23% of urban households possess computers. They have reported this. Nearly 24% of the rural households in the country had internet access. In the survey year 2017-2018, the proportions were 15% among rural households and 42% among urban households. So you can say that this access, that is 24% of households in the country, they have internet access definitely. But the proportions, you can say that only 15% in the rural areas and 42% in the urban areas. Among persons of age group 15 to 29 years, nearly 24% in rural areas and 56% in urban areas were able to operate a computer. This is a very interesting fact. You can see that 15 to 29 means the actually the study population, you can say, the school goers, the college goers, the university goers. So this population, these people, they are nearly 24% in rural areas and 56% in urban areas were able to operate a computer. And nearly 35% of persons of the age group 15 to 29 years, they reported the use of the internet during the 30 days prior to the date of the survey. Actually, the survey was conducted in 2017, some date that is made of being like that. So that is nearly 35% of persons of age 15 to 29, they reported the use of the internet prior to 30. The proportions were nearly 25% in rural areas and 58% in the urban areas. Yep. So let me come to the next one. So this is a bit smaller one, as I have taken a screenshot from the percentage of households with computer and internet facility for the different states. This is also the NSS roundtable survey that has been seen. And you can see here that the internet facility, if you consider, as this is a state, we are coming from the state of West Bengal, if you can see that percentage of households with computer and internet facility, computer, that is in West Bengal only 3.3% households, and internet is there only in 7.9% rural population, that is rural households, and urban areas, that is only 23% they have computer and 36% they have internet facility. Actually, computer and internet means that is with the computer, sometimes they are using the smartphones. The smartphones are when it is added and they are accessing it to the smartphones. So that is the internet that is giving us the internet facility. And rural plus urban, if you can concentrate here to West Bengal, that is 9.4 in computers and only 16.5. Rather than this, we can say that Delhi is quite better, that is 55.7, the internet they are accessing. Next to it is here, that is Himachal Pradesh is better in this case, and also Kerala. So these three states, they are ranking first, second and third in the internet facility, that is rural plus urban when it is combined. Now let us come to the internet usage in India, that is the statistics and the facts in 2020. Now what is happening in 2020? As right from March, only we have started with this very serious pandemic, that is COVID-19 pandemic. So what is the situation now in internet as per the internet usage? With over 560 million internet users, India is the second largest online market that we have already seen. That is ranked only behind China. It was estimated that by 2023, there would be over 650 million internet users in the country. But despite the large base of the internet users, the internet penetration rate in the country stood at around 50% in 2020. So, despite this large base of internet users, we have only penetration rate as 50%. That means that around half of the 1.37 billion Indians have access to the internet this year. Only half of them have access. Think of that in this particular tremendous situation of this pandemic, when we are confined to our homes, we cannot go out, we cannot do anything, or just with a laptop or just with a smartphone in hand, if we would have just access to the things that are available, that are definitely librarians are doing a lot of tasks all over the world. They are doing a lot of jobs, a lot of things to do. And they are supplying us, or they are giving us the access to a variety of documents. At the click of a mouse, by sitting at our homes only, we can access those documents. But only fortunate ones are the 50%. Rest others are just the misfortunes. They are having just the misfortunes. There has been a consistent increase in the internet accessibility compared to the just 5 years ago, when the internet penetration rate was around 27%. So this is a positive note that we have just increased our usage. Internet penetration rate was previously only 27%. From that, we have been better. That is now 50%. So internet accessibility and the use in the country largely vary based on the factors like gender and the socioeconomic divide. So gender is another problem. That is 290 million internet users in rural India compared to 337 million urban internet users. So this also is a very alarming situation. Only 290 from the rural India compared to that of 337 million. Majority of the Indian internet users were between 20 and 29 years of age, that we have seen. and a slightly higher proportion of these users were from rural parts. And there were far more male internet users in the country compared to female users. I don't know why, because girls also today nowadays are moving quite forward, but still there may be some lacuna. They may have to do the household chores, they have to serve their families and etc. They have to mind their children and all. I don't know why. So anyways, they are, it has been seen, the survey shows that far more male internet users are there rather than that of the female users. And this digital gender gap only increased further in the rural hinterlands compared to the urban metros. Definitely, it's a very poor situation, we know, that is in rural India. Whenever into the rural places or remote places, they don't have the particular access to the internet. They have very poor connectivity, and therefore they cannot access the net. So some interesting facts now and statistics on the digital India. A majority of India's digital population access the internet via their mobile phones. So they don't have a particular laptop. This is very definite. In a poor country like India, they do not have a good laptop that is to manage, and therefore they are accessing their internet via their mobile phones. In 2018, about 29% of the country's total population were mobile internet users, and this was expected to grow to over 35%, or approximately 500 million users by 2023. So in 2018, only about 29% of country's total population, they were mobile internet users, and it's expected to grow. Definitely, we are expecting it by 2023. And increased availability of cheap data plans, along with the various government initiatives under the Digital India campaign, work together to make the mobile the primary internet access to the country. And notably, 4G networks were the most widely used across urban and the rural India in 2019. So one aspect when in India shares the characteristics of other global internet users is this passion for social media. Just we have seen now that we are having much more Facebook users than that of China, though we are ranking just behind China in the means of the internet usage, but we are lagging forward in case of the social media usage. It was estimated that was by 2023, there would be almost 450 million social network users in India. Furthermore, the share of Indian population that accesses social networks is expected to jump from 24% in 2018 to over 31% in 2023. And Facebook was the most popular social networking site in the country. In fact, with about 80 million Facebook users in the country, India had the largest Facebook user base in the world as of 2020. So this I want to discuss. Now, let us see a statistical bar graph. This one, number of internet users in India from 2015 to 2020 with a forecast until 2025. It is estimated that, see the rise, it is rising. It's a ray of hope definitely for us also. And now the literacy rate. Let us come to the literacy rate. So adult literacy rate is the percentage of people, that is ages 15 and above, we can say, who can both read and write with understanding a short, simple statement about their everyday life. And India literacy rate for 2018 was 74.37, or 5.07 increase from 2011. So you can see that, yes, we are improving ourselves in the case of the literacy rate also. This source is from World Bank data. It is saying that we have improved. 2011 was India literacy rate for 2011 was 69.30, a 6.55 increase from 2006. So we are improving. In that sense, we are improving. And next thing, that is the census information. Census 2011, almost we are approaching the next census in 2021. But still you can say that the literates 7+ and years above, you can see here, from here, very much, that definitely the persons in 2011, the persons literate is 764,98517. And in rural India, it is like this in 2011. That of urban is showing this. So we can just say that literacy, I must say that literacy actually means here those who can read and write their names. It doesn't mean that they have to go to the college or that they have studied till class 10, 12 or like that. Basically, those who can sign their names, they are called as literate in India. So this is the situation. Therefore, it is seen that the rural population, it is more literate as compared to that of, and definitely this is more also, the population is more also. So here actually, one thing is, now that is, this is the center, this is the percentage, that is, you can say that 2011, 84.11% people, they are seen as the literate ones. Now the main barriers in bridging the digital divide in India. So these are some of the barriers where you can see. That is infrastructural barriers, literacy and skill barriers, economic barriers, content barriers, and language barriers. That I have already during the very few slides first presentations I was discussing that what are the barriers we are facing nowadays as to bridge the digital divide. That is 5 ways of technology access. This is you can see the screenshot of that one. That is 5 ways of technology access that is adopted from Roberts 2017. It is availability, affordability, awareness, abilities, and the agency. These are the 5 A's. Actually, availability, to whom the technology is unavailable, to whom the technology is unaffordable, who is unaware of the technology, abilities, who has the digital literacies to use the technology, and who has the self-efficacy to make use of the technology. So these are some of the Indian government initiatives. I'm not going into the details. I will just call out the names of those, that is for the bridging the digital divide. That is Kisan Call Center, Lifeline India, Bhumi Project, Gyandoot, TDIL, and some more. That is Start Project, Saurekaran, Seva, like that, Me Seva. These are some of the projects that India has taken to bridge the digital divide. Since these times, some digitalization initiatives in the libraries are National Science Digital Library, National Digital Library, Vidya Vahini Project, and Digital Mobile Library. So these are some of the digitization initiatives that the libraries have taken to bridge the digital divide. Now, bridging the digital divide. Now let us just come to the how to bridge the digital divide. That is the theme. Some initiatives that India has taken during the COVID-19 pandemic. I was going through some of the newspaper cutouts, and it has been seen from downloading the e-lessons to using the teaching cards, rural India finds ways to bridge the digital divide. So two, three news items have been seen that in Haryana's Jhamri village here, the students, they have opened the textbooks at the site of the teaching card, which has arrived near their homes. They have taken notes from their homes as a teacher imparts lessons using the house speaker attached to the card. And another is Ghanshyam Bhai, another teacher in Jannan village, Gujarat, who has started using the public announcement system of the village panchayat to share the stories, the songs, the guidelines for parents on how to deal with children during the lockdown, the importance of exercising, and much more. Also in Maharashtra's Bhadol village, teachers have identified students with access to smartphones and have formed the small groups, clubbing them with the students without the internet access. And they have also, it is a very commendable job of theirs, they have also taken the initiative to pay the internet charges to those parents who are helping the other parents to manage the homeworks. Those who are having the smartphones, at least their internet pay charges are paid by the teachers themselves. It's a very inspiring thing I've seen. Now, role of the libraries during this pandemic. I know that definitely the libraries are definitely playing a very great role. I'm just covering up my time. Just a few minutes more, I will take of yours. So the role of libraries here. The researchers, we can say that the role of libraries during this pandemic, what is the role of libraries? So researchers, they are highly dependent on the libraries for the reliable information, definitely during this pandemic. They get the latest data about ongoing research through the peer-reviewed academic journals, books, and reports subscribed by the libraries. They can take more knowledgeable decisions about the outbreak by using the correct resources from the library, and value-added information services are designed by the librarians or the researchers. Next is the special bibliographies on COVID-19, that is running virtual information services, curating the information sources for the healthcare professionals, providing comprehensive research, searching for evidence-based information, maintaining the electronic library, interlibrary loan services, and maintaining the referral services. Libraries have also collaborated with the leading publishers during this particular time. That is, libraries spontaneously opened up their materials for the general public. This we are finding out. Whenever we are sitting in the internet, we are seeing lots and lots of information that were not accessible previously. Now they are opened up, and we can access those information when we go to the very. We can say that they are the sites that is most useful sites. We can say they have provided us the links of those sites. Libraries save people from the rumors and the misinformation. This is very much important also, friends. We can say that during this pandemic, there is a lot of rumor, lot of misinformation. This has happened, that has happened. Only last 2 days before, we have seen that Pranab Mukhopadhyay, our ex-president, he is deteriorating, and that type of news. It was all coming up. Social media is full of the rumors. But many libraries are conducting the information literacy programs, alerting people about COVID-19, and the reader advisory services can be availed from the librarians via the electronic media, which may help in relieving the economy due to the pandemic and the lockdown situation. Now, this Western world, they have taken some actions like the free Wi-Fi, the school bus fleets, public television, school buildings, and old-fashioned papers. They have taken these actions. I'm not going through the details of the Western world because I'm concerned very much about India. And bridging the digital divide, what else librarians can do or libraries can do? This is I have just made up from my mind. Extension services like the book mobile services or homebound visitations is possible, definitely. Delivering the scanned copy of the important documents as and when it is needed. Preparing a list of members residing in the poor connectivity areas. Just you can prepare, you can take the information from them, and having no internet access and visit those places with the book cards if it helps the users. Users should be contacted in any way, and their information needs must be identified by the librarians to satisfy their demand. Academic libraries must collaborate with the public libraries and serve collateralities through these public libraries. Public libraries must adapt to the society's evolving digital needs. They must be well equipped with library personnel and free Wi-Fi services. This is very important, and many of the Western countries, they are following this free Wi-Fi services where they can at least access, those who are having the smartphone but they don't have the pay the internet charges, they can at least access. And definitely other thing, that is reduce the mass services to the individualized services. And library professionals can take the initiatives and consult the subject teachers for the doorstep delivery of the course materials in physical form to the remote areas which are inaccessible via internet. So these homebound visits, that is home visits, that can happen a lot and that can change a lot. If you can just scan some copy of the important documents that are needed to those recipients, you can scan and supply those books to the little children or the, I don't know which type of, different types of libraries are existing for the school librarians. I am talking of this thing, that you can give the books, or you can deliver some scanned copy of the documents, or some important things that can be managed, that course materials can be managed and that can be supplied in physical form. If it is possible, then it will definitely help. Now I'm concluding. So bridging the digital divide to some extent is tough, but not impossible. It answers my question that as I was asking to myself only, that whether bridging it is at all possible is very tough. I know that in this particular situation where there is only 50% of internet users, we cannot bridge the digital divide to that extent, but to some extent it can make it possible if we are making ourselves active. There should be equal efforts and urge to provide and receive services from every level, be it the government, the policymakers, the institutional administrators, the librarians, and the users. Physical mode of education is going to stand, but for the time being, people should try to adjust with the new normal. That is a very important thing. Physical mode is the most important mode that we need, definitely, but In this new normal situation where we are very much confined, every day we are getting news of so much of deaths all over the world. In that situation, we have to accept the new services anyway. Improving the infrastructure of public libraries and linking them with the community information centers. And to bridge the digital divide in its real sense, there is a need to increase the PC penetration. Only smartphone devices will not help, because reading from the smartphone, all of us know how difficult it is when we are reading or just we are trying to prepare some notes from the smartphone. There is a need to promote cultural diversity. That is very much needed. We are a very cultural diversified country, and the avoidance of social exclusion among the non-English speaking population of India. Lastly, I must add a note of very good old proverb from 1600s: where there is a will, there is a way. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, with this, I'm just finishing. Next one.
Pramoni, please.
Thank you. Thank you, madam, for making such important remarks in this context of the discourse. It will surely help us in future. Uh, Now some questions arises from the participants. Can we start the question answer session, ma'am?
Yes, definitely.
Uh, there are two questions from one of the participants named Kajol Chatterjee. Asked, is there any statistics to know what % population are
Kaboni, I couldn't hear you. Please continue.
am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, please ask. Yes.
She questioned, is there any statistics to know what % population are using internet for educational purpose and what % population are using for recreation purpose only?
Yes, definitely. There are many statistics. As I was just consulting I was going through the statistical parts. That is the National Sample Survey. They have conducted the surveys. They are conducting, and very good. That is the World Internet Usage also. That site you can go and consult, and you can see that which part, that is how much is used for the educational purpose, and definitely for the other things, that is entertainment purpose also. They are giving the very good results of those statistics. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Uh, she another she asked another question. Mm, please suggest some e-library resources.
Definitely. Oh, so librarians, you people, librarians are so there. You can go and consult any of the resources. That is, many of the resources are available free of cost. That is Hathi Trust. You can go to Hathi Trust, National Digital Library. They have conducted a project, very good project for all the standards. You can see that very good, all the standards. You can find out the resources of different types of resources from the sites, and the very good resources in specific things only. There are many different sites that you can go and consult. So definitely, if you can go through them, and you can get the information from there. Many open resources actually are available. Internet Archive is a very good source. internetarchive.org is a very good source that you can get the free internet resources. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. There are another questions from one of the participants named Vivekananda Goswami. Asked, but how is it possible to give our library service in the pandemic period? Please explain.
Just I was just explaining only that the library services, yes, definitely that is a closer. during or after the pandemic, whatever is there, we have to be careful in that part. And so, if definitely during this, if you are not digitally divided, then you can get plenty of services from the libraries. Like that of the librarians, they are doing a lot of tasks to open up the resources to all the users. Definitely, they are giving the remote access to their resources. Whatever resources are available in the libraries, they are getting the remote access. But after the pandemic or during the pandemic, if you have to open the libraries, you have to be extra careful regarding that. Definitely, the sanitizers, you have to concentrate more on the sanitizers. You should take sufficient time, at least 72 hours of time is needed. We can, as we have read from the various news reports, that at least if they return the books, the users come and they return the books to you, then you have to keep them to the shelves maximum up to the 72 hours, and then only you can handle those and give them to the other users, to some other users to handle those books and like that. And definitely sanitization is a very important part. The librarian should be much more careful regarding that, because when they are coming to the libraries, when they are the users are coming, you have to give them the access also. And space is a very definite thing. That is, you have to be spacious. You have to give some. You have to, if you allow the reading room services, you should allot some sufficient space between the two chairs that you are placing. So these things we have to maintain. Whatever social distancing norms we are maintaining at our homes, definitely that is also required for our libraries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Shakti Shankar Singho Mahapatra
Kamini,
asked the same question. In school libraries, there is no digital application in West Bengal. Then in this pandemic situation, how we will provide the library services?
Oh, yes, yeah,
Kamini.
book cards. I was talking about the book cards, no? You can, if and it's possible to manage with the school authority, please tell them to give you a book card. You can have some homebound visitations. Definitely by maintaining the social distancing norms. Definitely you can announce from the book cards, and you can give the books. You can supply the books. You can scan the documents, and you can hand it over to the little children. You can give some sufficient good books to them by means of the book cards, by their homebound visitations, by giving them the homebound visits. That you can do. That is possible. Or one thing that they have also seen in the that we have seen in Haryana, that those villages, that they were announcing that the storytelling sessions and like that. You can have those sessions by means of the local panchayats if you are residing in a rural area, or definitely by means of some, by collaborating with the public libraries. You can provide the services. Definitely, I feel that if you can have a collaboration with the public libraries, and you can have a room there, you can just uh, for the little children in the residing, those who are studying in your area, that is in a school, you can give the services to them by means of the visitations. That is book cards. Book card is a good option in that.
Thank you so much, madam. We have more questions. Can we continue?
No, Kamini, please go to the next speaker. Time is.
Okay. Uh,
I don't have a problem, but I think the
No,
organizers they're running
actually, no.
last
short of
question,
time.
actually.
Yes,
Uh,
if you
Last questions. Named Priyanko Sen asked, in this pandemic situation, do digital natives should be increased in rural areas?
yes, please once more again. His voice was breaking at my end.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Voice was breaking. You please put the question again, Saboni.
Oh, um, Priyanko Sen asked, in this pandemic situation, do digital natives should be increased in rural areas?
Definitely, they should increase, but we don't know how they will increase, because actually they have increased to some extent also, I feel, because many of them, those who didn't had a smartphone, they have at least tried, if they are having small kids at home, and they are into some schools which are a distant away, or they are giving some online classes and that. At least they have tried to manage with some smartphones. But definitely digital natives, if you can say that, how much they are accessing it properly and how much they are using it for the educational purpose, I doubt for that. But still, there is a ray of hope that they are at least trying. I know some of the actually some of them at least who have tried a bit to be digitally active during this pandemic situation. Those who have not tried a bit, they have at least tried a bit to be digitally active. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for satisfying our participants by answering them. And thank you once again, ma'am, for giving us time and
Thank you.
present in this platform.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you. Namaskar.
Now I would like to invite our second speaker, Dr. Somen Mollik sir, to deliver his speech. But before that, let me the opportunity to introduce him. Uh, Dr. Somen Mollik, presently working as assistant professor at Department of Library and Information Science in Vidyasagar University, Medinipur, West Bengal, India. He is serving the field of library and information science for the last 20 years in various capacities at different institutions of national and international repute. He worked with two laboratories of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR), namely National Institute of Science, Technology and Development Studies (NISTADS) at New Delhi, and CSIR Unit for Research and Development of Information Products URDIP at Pune. He has contributed to the world's most prestigious organization, BrahMos Aerospace, New Delhi. He also served the Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, New Delhi. Dr. Mollik is a national scholar and completed his PhD in the year 2014 in the field of scientometrics. During his academic career, he was awarded National Scholarship in the year 1994 and Instock CSIR Scholarship in the year 2002. He has contributed research articles in different journals and edited books. He is a proud flag bearer of the libraries and librarianship. He regularly delivers lectures and publishes articles on librarianship and library services. Apart from scientometrics, his domain of interest includes librarianship in general and retrieval of information. Um, Now, may I invite Dr. Somen Mollik sir to begin his session. Over to you now, sir, please.
Thank you, Sravani. Good evening, everybody. And in the very first session, Nivedita has discussed almost everything regarding this digital divide. Am I audible to you? Uh, hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, okay. In the very beginning, Nivedita discussed about this digital divide and the statistics, and these are helpful for the next presenter also. And being the second presenter, I have enough freedom to discuss about the other things. So I want to present here your topic of this session webinar is digital divide and role of libraries during COVID-19 pandemic. And regarding this, I just want to remind you whatever Nivedita has said in a gist way, that digital contents are there. It is being formed since the last 2 3 decades, and actually before the arrival of this COVID-19, we were using these digital resources also. But this COVID-19 has arrived in a sudden way, and since March 2020, we are just locked down, and especially this academic arena, colleges, schools, universities, they are stopped uh, for the students and teachers. Otherwise, I think to some extent, office works are going on. That means the necessary works regarding the other office works regarding NAC or whatever, that is going on. But due to these new normals and other things, and since these remedial measures has not come yet, vaccines has not been developed yet, so many other things are there. So the students are being stopped to go to the campus, and teachers are also said to avoid the campus because of this only. The campus may be contaminated, you may be, the teachers may be contaminated, whatever. But the academic activities are not stopped. We have seen it, all of our participants and the presenters of these sessions also, we are, all are busy in the communication of these academic activities, communication of knowledge. So in some way or other way, we all are learning, we all are delivering also. So since the digital divide is the topic of this session, and digital contents are being used before pandemic also, then that was the digital divide was just a phrase, or it was a talk of the policymaker to how to diminish this digital divide. But see, during this pandemic, it became the talk of everyone's. It became the concern of normal people, general people. That is the most positive thing regarding this digital divide. Now, Nivedita also discussed this thing, which are the levels of digital divide. There are 3 levels she discussed, she elaborately discussed. Okay. So 3 things are very prominent level. First of all, the persons who are devoid of access to the digital contents. That means there are strata of society, there are people who cannot access the digital contents. Reason may be n number of reasons may be there. So very first of all, we think about they may not be having computer, they may not be having laptops, they may not be having the other gadgets, they may not be having communication, they may not be having bandwidth, they may not be having anything, they may not be having money to buy this anything. But who are devoid of access, they are the primary, they are the basic target or focus of this digital divide. But unfortunately, in this session, we cannot talk about this because this is not into our purview. A librarian or a library cannot give this equipment, cannot make them economically much more better. It is not the purview of the library or librarians. So I am not talking about this. This inequality which persists in this arena of this academic activity. Here, devoid of access, it is the policy issue of the government, it is the policy issue of the institution, it is the policy issue of other people or other administrators, except for librarians. Librarians may be directed in future to act, to play a role to diminish this, but that is also as per the instructions or as per the given job. The second level of digital divide is capability divide. That means when you have see, you think that you don't have any problem to access the gadgets. If you don't have any access to have your computer, you don't have any other network issue, and you can access to digital content whenever you want. Then also there is one question whether the user is capable to use those digital contents. That means information literacy, that means the presentability, that means searchability, that means the access to the relevant information by the users. So librarianship is all about serving the users, save the time of the user. Books are for use. Every book is user. That means to make available all the resources to the user so that the user should not waste their time to search. In this particular case, in this particular level, that capability divide, that is somebody may be unable to make themselves capable of using digital contents. If they are not, then they are also the victim of digital divide. So libraries can play important role. Libraries have to play important role, especially in this pandemic situation. So we have two kinds of or three kinds of users. First of all, teachers. They will be equipped with all the gadgets. They will be competent enough to search the digital contents. There will be some students or researchers in college fraternity who may be well equipped to search the digital contents, who may be competent enough to use these digital contents. But what about those people who are devoid of access to them, or who have access but they don't have capacity? They are not capable to use this digital content. So librarians have to make some digital platform for their users. Librarians, they can sit in their workstations at their home and they can use the internet platforms. They can search the open access materials. They can make a separate portal or separate link in their website, library website, and they can provide these gateways or links to the users so that you are enhancing the capability of your competent users to use the huge number of digital contents which are freely available in the internet. You might be having some your own repositories. You might be having some your own questions, last few years questions. You can provide them, make it digitized and get them. In this way, you make the users capable to use these digital contents. And in the third level, that is outcome divide, it is the ultimate objective of any academic activity, that how the people learn these courses, how the people became knowledgeable, what is the outcome, what is the productivity we got. That is why we are here. That means the academic institutions are there. That is why the libraries are there, so that the people will be knowledgeable or educated. Today, I am restricting my topic into academic libraries only, and also for the college and higher education fraternity. Because for public library or general people, I am not including all the public libraries, rural libraries, and school libraries here. So outcome divide of a college student is how they learn their syllabus, how they learn their subject, Every colleges have their own structure, honors, pass, and other subjects are there. So the role of library to make them capable of using the digital resources and also to make knowledgeable people. So when your objective is to know, make knowledgeable people, then you yourself should eradicate your mindset that it will be only digital. Because never in future also, never the day will come that everything will be digital. So there will be, make it accept the situation that in countries like India, always be a hybrid kind of systems will be there in library. So if we think about digital, if we think about only electronic resources, then digital divide is already persisting. If we consider the digital resources only, then we are not talking about digital divide because digital divide is there. How many divides are there in the society? Political divide. Nivedita has discussed about n number, say 9 or 10 divisions are there, linguistics and other things. I pointed out here main 5 divisions. One is political divide. We Indians are very much political about this. I don't know about the abroad, but in India, politically we are divided. Racial division is not much in everywhere in India, but to some extent it is there. Religious divide is there. That is why we say unity in diversity. We use the term diversity instead of divide. But when we talk about divides in to make this digital divide more convenient, I use this term divide. Otherwise, it is in India, as per constitutions, we use the term diversity. Economic divide and digital divide. I hope you all will agree that in the center there is knowledge, no doubt. But economics is the only thing which controls the all other divisions. Political divide is also influenced by economic division, racial, religious, or digital divide. Digital divide actually persists only because of this economic divide. Because those who have not these gadgets, most of them only because of they are not economically sound. So they don't have these gadgets. And since they don't have electronics gadgets, they don't have access to the electronic resources. So if we think in this way, that pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic has arrived in March. But in India, in world, digital divide was there. And more importantly, economic divide is there in every area of this world. How the policymakers, how the people combat with this economic divide? Most of all will agree that banking sector is the main instrument of the policymakers, of the government, of the society. The banking sector will do something on behalf of government to eradicate this economic divide. What banks does? Banks reach out. Banks reach out to its users in terms of loans, agricultural loan, personal loan, land loan, several loan schemes are there. And they provide loans to the farmers. And farmers seldom comes to the bank. Most of the times banks goes to the field and they call them in a place and then they explains what schemes banks have. It is aims to eradicate the economic divisions. Now, digital divide was already there. Pandemic COVID has arrived, and all the college, schools, universities, they went to online mode of teaching. Being a teacher, I was also teaching. Being a teacher, I need books also, but I don't have access to library presently. Physical books are not there. Those physical books don't have the electronic versions also because I didn't pay for these books. So the books I cannot access through internet, all the books. I cannot go to library right now, but I have to teach. So somehow I am managing. Most of the resources are there in the internet. Many of the things I have already read it. Few notes are there with me. Instead of all these habs, I don't have access right now to my library. I don't have the physical book with me, and I don't have access to the digital version of that physical book. Now, in these situations, I am being a teacher also, I am facing helpless. So think about the students who will come in this August or September. They will be this result has come of HS results has come. First year students will be admitted in the colleges. Two of my teachers, two of my principals are also there. I think the admission process has also started. If this pandemic COVID-19 extends till November, December, your academic activity will not be stopped. Teachers will continue to teach, they will be given syllabus, they will be given routine. Accordingly, students will also be given the routine and syllabus. And we all accept that digital divide is there. Think about the students who will be admitted for a new subject. Whatever they are coming to learn is new to them. Till then, till HS, higher secondary, they were learning in a general way. Now they came for specialization. What to do? Should we let them like this? Digital divide is there. We cannot go to. You cannot come to library, and you will be taught online, and it is sufficient. I think it is not sufficient. So somehow we need to provide them actual content. Think about this. I was thinking, banks, they are in work. Our own offices are in work. I think libraries should also work in a restricted manner, but to reach out to the students, to give them the content, we need to do something. In recent Assam flood, we have seen that banks has come, their pay point, it has come by the boat for 6 kilometers. They traveled to reach out to the users. To my opinion, that libraries should reach out. You should, the librarian should first of all see their student base. Now in West Bengal, since it is state level webinar, I can talk about West Bengal only. In West Bengal, there are plenty of colleges are there, and under every college, there will be certain area, certain blocks, certain villages, certain gram panchayats, whatever. From your admission data, you map the demography of the students, where they are situated. The which are the main gram panchayats from where your students are coming. And Nivedita was talking about some examples. I am also open of that you should contact to those panchayats and hire a truck. You load your books, go to that, because you don't know when this pandemic situation will go, because you don't know when your college will start teaching learning process in a normal way. College may open in November, but you don't know whether students will come. You don't know whether parents will send their child to the college, school, or university. So this kind of situation means trust building situation. The students or teachers or the general people, when will they feel that okay, it is okay to go in a normal way, then only will come. And by then you may spend 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I don't know. You don't know. So in the very beginning, you plan in this way that you identify the panchayats where your student concentration of your student community is high, and also from your admission data you try to find out BPL students who actually needs these books very beginning, because the economically sound students may purchase the textbooks, but basic books if BPL students may not purchase in the very beginning. So you identify the students also, and you identify those panchayats, contact them, you ask them to hire a room for you dedicated, it will be locked and keys will be with you only, the librarian. And you distribute your activity as per the subjects. That means in one gram panchayat there may be concentration of 2 or 3 subjects is more. In other gram panchayat there will be some different subject concentration is more. In this way, you do some inventory jobs, you do some research on your users, students users, and accordingly you make your plan, you make your priority, in which gram panchayat you will provide more books on which subject. It will be there. And the online classes are going on, will be going on by the teachers. You liaise with the teachers, which are the subjects, tough areas for the semester or next semester. Accordingly, we plan and ask for more books on those subjects. This manage your resources. It also includes budget. The college may not be having proper budget for your all the books. Ask for budget, more funds from your MLAs or MPs. Ask for funds from other places. You try to invent this from where you can ask it. You can ask for help of some NGOs also. But my suggestion is give the textbook, basic books to the BPL students first. Not only BPL students, economically disadvantaged people, you give them. And then you make your priority for subjects. You make your priority for the Gram Panchayats. Gram Panchayats even. Which Panchayats you have to first, at first you have to serve. And if the libraries is not having enough staff, you please make some proposal to your principal or the governing body for hiring few people for a short period on contractual basis or whatever. But you ask for manpower and send them to those extension centers of libraries. So in this way, you can combat during this pandemic 19 situation, COVID-19 situation. There are other measures like making open access resources and giving link. You purchase ebooks, you purchase journals, means you can go to Enlist, you can go to Encryptnet, and you can subscribe those. And you make your own digital repository also, because since students are not coming every day to your library, then you have to provide them the previous questions, you have to provide them some other your in-house materials. You ask your teachers to give you their preprints of publication and make a database on Greenstone and serve them. So in this way, somehow we have to combat it because it is a sudden thing, but we are not sure that it is going to disappear very soon. But academic activities will be continued. So we have to combat this COVID-19 in many different ways. So don't be shy to ask for manpower, for budget, for fund, and raise your voice for the disadvantaged people who really need your help right now. Teachers will teach online. They may not be having the smartphone to learn. They may not be having proper network uh, to ask the questions to have proper two-way communication, but they must have the textbooks or basic books in their home so that they can learn. This is my concern. And in doing this, you must be safe. You should follow safety measures, the new normals, social distancing. You use sanitizers, and and also make awareness to the users also that they should also be safe. All everything should be executed in a very safe manner. Be human to them. If you have a charging period for 15 days, extend it up to 20 days. Be human for them, so that they will be having trust on your library. They will be having faith on you that library is there to help me, and definitely they will use your library, and they will acknowledge your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs and views on this session. It will surely help us to provide the library services better. We are ever grateful to you, sir. Uh, now few questions are arises, uh, but kept in mind the time factor, we are take only one question. Uh, that is. Vivekananda Goswami asked, uh, e-books and online journals are too much expensive.
Yes.
So how this online facility can be provided?
Through libraries only, libraries should contact the enlist internet service, and the users of the library, they will make the demand of the particular ebook or e-journal, and after that, if that is possible to purchase, then they will arrange it, or they can give you some referral service to other library. You can contact to other libraries. Because personally, you cannot purchase all the ebooks, all the journals. It is not possible. So somehow we have to go to any library, and this digital platform and this digital age has given us that opportunity to know where the resource is being subscribed, and we can contact to that library. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, uh, for giving us time and such an informative session. Thank you, sir. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, Ramani. Ramani.
Okay. Thank you all for being with us till now. Uh, Here comes the last valuable speech of this webinar. Sri Pranav Hajra sir will share his precious experience to enrich us. Before that, let me allow to say a few words about him. Hello. 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 Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Shri
Yes,
Pranab
right.
Hajra is the librarian at Sidhu Kanu Birsa University, Purulia, West Bengal. He is an eminent journalist, owner, and honorary editor of Salpial, a fortnightly newspaper. He is ex-librarian of Khatra Adivasi Mahavidyalaya, and we are very much glad to mention that he was ex-student of Ramananda College. He has authored more than 6 books and presented his lectures on a number of occasions, and also he is the convener or member of various professional bodies and associations. He was awarded Acharya Prafullo Chandra Roy Sriti Puruskar, Kobiguru Sharok Samman, Robindra Sriti Puruskar, and Kal Sammanana. May I now invite Sri Pranab Hajra sir to begin his session. Over to you now, sir. Please.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Sabuni.
Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay, okay. Respected president of these two organizing colleges, that is Ramananda College and Garhbeta College, respected principals, sir, of two colleges and librarians of those colleges, respected other two resource persons, and my learned friend participating this webinar from different parts of the globe. I would first like to thank the authorities of Bishnupur, Ramananda College and Garhbeta College for selecting me as a resource person in such a webinar. During this lockdown, I have not attended any webinar for the past 4 months. As a resource person, I had to return the invitation because during these 4 months, we are busy sending various study materials, including books, magazines, journals, to the housebound people day and night. Although the work of providing library services is still going on, the pressure has eased a bit. Besides, one of the organizing colleges here is Ramananda College, that's stated by Sravoni, that I am an alumnus of the college. However, the topic of today's webinar is very relevant and of course timely. But the role of library professionals is very important here, because in this pandemic situation, when all educational institutions and public libraries are closed, the technical infrastructure that is required to provide library services from those libraries is not available in most libraries. So, even if library has e-resources, it is not possible to provide it to the library users across the border. In this situation, there is nothing left for the respective libraries to do. There can be no more helplessness for the readers. The state of mind of students, teachers, researchers is easily conceivable. The parents worry about their children's future. They are so worried and confused that they forget about protecting their child's health and are desperate to send them to the school or the educational institution. We have heard of the school in West Medinipur being forced to open and start classes in defiance of government directives. What can I do? What can we do in this situation? I would like to highlight the real aspects here without discussing the theory. And this is where the role of librarians become important. So we first wanted to spread the message, libraries closed, librarians not, to give courage to the frustrated, helpless, bewildered victims. Let's share the experience here.
In response to COVID-19 mandates, teachers, students, and librarians around the world are being forced to take the course to an online-only environment. As many reputed schools, libraries, universities have closed their campuses. Through this transformation, all aspects of the education systems are being challenged to adapt quickly to this new environment, with their librarians responsible for ensuring the resources of all libraries from remote location. I failed to assume at the start of the lockdown that it would last so long. When I realized the real situation, this bothered me to my dismay. What will happen to the students, teachers, and the researchers? How will they use the library? The central library of our university does not have any infrastructure to provide online library services in remote location, outside campus. We have e-resources, much of e-resources, but there is no such technological infrastructure so that we can provide this outside the campus, across the border. I think many of the universities, not only college, many of the universities has no such technological infrastructure to provide their resources to the remote location. Then what we have to do? I decided to provide library services to my university students, teachers, officials, and researchers through WhatsApp messaging system and Telegram apps. I started the work in an instant, but the lockdown continued to prolong. Ordinary people are out of breath. They are trying to go crazy. So what is the way of coming out of the tangle? That's why my professional commitment questions me. As a librarian, I can do many things. I concede how we used to say in many of the seminars, many of the meetings, that books are the real friends of human beings and who cannot betray. We thought that today in the pandemic situation, this real friend can stand by our side. At that very time, I saw a nice quote in the social media. That is, libraries closed, librarians not. With this promise, we call on the library professional. Let us appeal to the housebound people. Stay at home with books. Stay at home with books. Because we thought that books could make people's life less difficult. Those of us in our 60s, we know very well how intoxication of reading books can keep people intoxicated with marvels of new thought, ideas through reading books. We'll deliver the books to the homebound people. We'll deliver the books to the homebound people, but not in such a way that I think my brother Shomen says that consulting with the panchayat level, the librarians to supply, deliver the books to the house of the students. It is not possible. It is not possible for security reasons. It is not possible to deliver print books to users' home. Then what we will do? We will deliver the books to the homebound people. But that is not print books. That is e-books. That is PDF of the books. That is link of journals. Other e-resources. We can deliver this through online environment, through the online platform. Members of the Sammilito Granthagara PCJB Moncho, a platform of the library professionals from rural to university, public to private libraries, have been consulted with. I formed a team. I went open to social media with my WhatsApp number with the declaration, if you are interested, contact by WhatsApp on my WhatsApp number by giving your name, address, and profession. we will register your name. Then you may send your requisition. You may send your requisition for your books on net. We will try our level best to send you through online. The journey has started. Several Kolkata dailies covered our initiative in their news article. Various news portals also covered this. And after that, we did not stop. Our online library services has reached beyond the borders of the state, even beyond the border of the country. Beyond the border of the country, we have provided this online library services in this pandemic situation, that is at the time of lockdown, when we have to forced to close our library, physical library platform. Let us share a fact. Here is one Dr. Jayanto Kumar Dirghangi. Originally, he is an inhabitant of Jayantipu, near Chandrakona Road of West Medinipur, India. He is used to live in America since 1975. One day, he suddenly called me with an earnest longing. Introducing himself, he said, "Sir, I have learned about the service from e-paper. If you please provide me Bengali books, I will be ever grateful to you." Then I received another phone call. Came from the same state, that is from America. It is Milon Kumar Pai. He is a software engineer. His original home is in Santoshpur, South Chobis Pargona, India. He said, "I want 11th and 12th standard textbooks for my daughter." And that's how far we have delivered books to 19,000 in this pandemic situation. That is, during the last 4 months, we have delivered 19,000 books to the people throughout the globe free of cost. From the child to elderly, from young to old, from doctors to engineers, from students to teachers, even to the migrant workers engaged in other states who are forced to stay there and they have no any work to do. That very migrant persons, they contacted with us and we have sent them ebooks, journals, newspapers, etc. They have given us more assistance by creating multiple groups themselves. How this impossible is made possible? We have been able to provide the service through a team. Through a teamwork, we have made this service. This team includes librarian from rural library to college, university library, and even library assistant from the library staff of West Bengal State Secretariat Library. Besides this, there are 600 students, teachers, and officials and researchers of our university are availing these services through 2 apps. Here we have technical administrator named Deep Kumar Kirtania of West Bengal State Secretariat Library. He himself is serving a university alone. We are also providing this service to 6 colleges in Bankura, Bardwan, and Hooghly district. Those who are taking these services are sending the request on my WhatsApp. I am sending the request to our team. As soon as they send me a PDF or a link, I redirect it to the person concerned. Till date, we have sent 5 crores of e-resources. 5 crores of e-resources have sent. These include ebooks, PDF, links to various journals, etc. If one can download even a part of these e-resources, he or she can create an e-library at home with a larger collection than any other large library. In this COVID-19 pandemic situation, the responsibilities of a library professional cannot be limited to providing books and journals only. Links to song, And movies may be sent along with books to give a little fresh air to this miserable prisoner's life. We have been also sending that. We have also given the link of online mental counseling. We have also given a link of online mental counseling. We have also arranged net set examination, training and examination for my university students. We also advised on social media for students of other universities, especially those in rural areas, to offer this service. But unfortunately, there was no response. Here is the point for the library professionals. Librarians need to keep this in mind. They learn to improve from all these, otherwise they may be disappointed. I asked a few more college principals for their approval so that we may provide these services free of cost, but they did not show any interest. But librarians should not be disappointed by all these. Instead, they can remember the world poet, that is Rabindranath Tagore, where he said, if the reader does not come to the library, then library should go to the reader. অর্থাৎ বিশ্বকবি রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুর যেটা বলেছিলেন, পাঠক যদি লাইব্রেরিতে না আসে তাহলে লাইব্রেরিকেই পাঠকের কাছে যেতে হবে। Library professionals have an advocacy role in this pandemic situation. They can search for various digital platforms worldwide. They will provide all information according to the needs of the people with their scholarly endeavor. In such a situation, library information will help to restore the confidence of the people by assuring them that this information can be delivered even at a remote location. Here, librarians have three dimensions. Librarians have three dimensions to this role. Number one, promoting such health awareness messages that can build resistance against the virus. Number two, researchers and teachers should be informed about the latest findings of the virus from time to time. Number three, users of their own libraries need to be regularly provided with information according to their needs. Provision of references, document delivery, literature searches, systematic reviews, etc. Virtual support must be given to the users. And by delivering these documents, it will certainly create health awareness. Use a mask, wash your hands frequently with soap, use sanitizer, do not shake hands, advice on nutrition and lifestyle, including various methods that will prevent transmission and control coronavirus infection. Also, the importance and necessity of social distancing, the need to implement quarantine measures should be explained. Now come to the point of fake news. The most important role of librarian is to make people aware of inaccurate and distorted information in this critical time to provide proper information. We may say this as fake news, and so they need to be connected to social media, advise them to follow World Health Organization WhatsApp link and their live runtime dashboard. American writer and producer Mr. Sidney Sheldon once said, library stores energy that fuels the imagination. They open up windows to the world and inspire us to explore and achieve and contribute to improving our quality of life. Library changes lives for the better. In this present pandemic situation, the physical library system is completely closed to comply with the rules of social distancing and to prevent the spread of infection. In this situation, the importance of library professionals is immense to keep the society alert and keep up to date. And keep them up to date, keep the people up to date. Germain Gear says, a library is a place where you can lodge your innocence without losing your virginity. So libraries are therefore the lifeline of students, teachers, researchers, and people from all walks of life. Library is the temple of scholarship. For the time being, we have been forced to stop the physical library system, but we have to keep this lifeline of people moving in an alternative way. It must be done with the goodwill and sincerity of technology and library professional. Sincerity and goodwill of library professional. We can overcome all these hindrances, all this pandemic situation. We can tackle with our sincerity, with our good wishes, goodwill. Now, the first thing we have to discuss, the digital divide. I am now discussing this digital divide. COVID-19 is not only pervading our country, globally it has shown the digital divide with finger in the eye. And the fact is that we are talking about an alternative system to keep the library active in this pandemic situation is to keep the library users virtually connected using the digital platform. The question is, how far is it possible? The question is, how far is it possible? Let us take an example from my university. The number of students in our university is about 2,000. But 600 people, students, teachers, scholars, officials, have been added to the library through the 2 apps we offer. I asked the leading students, leader of the students, if many of the absent students were living in a remote place, remote area, such as not having a mobile phone or not being able to recharge for economic reasons and or for not any electric connection. I told them, if it is for economic reasons, give me their names. We would recharge their phones by our own cost. But it was not possible because students did not agree with my proposal. But we cannot deny the reality of digital divide. Now let us share our experiences throughout the India. Here is some picture. What my previous resource person, speakers, Somen, he said that digital divide persists only for economic reasons, and banking sector can eradicate economic divide by sanctioning loan, etc. Now please come to an example. The name of a village in Himachal Pradesh is Gumer. The name of the student is Kuldeep Kumar. He got into trouble when his school decided to take online classes after the lockdown was announced because he does not have any mobile phone. He started from banks and also went to rural moneylender also. He requested to give him a loan of 6,000 rupees, but none came to help him. Neither bank nor any Gramin Mahajan moneylender. Then what he will do? He has to go to the online classes. He has to attend the online classes of his school. Then he sold his cow for cultivation. He sold his cow and bought a mobile phone. So it is the function of our bank. So how we will depend upon them. Now another example, Kota, Gunjapur is another village in Panna district of Madhya Pradesh. Principal Rohini Pathak of that school conducted a survey after deciding to take an online classes. He came to know that only 8 of 31 of his students, only 8 has mobile phone, and at that very time, only 2 phones are active. The Telephone Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, said in its monthly report on June 29, 2020, that there are 1,160 million wireless subscribers in the country, where it was 1,010 million in February 2016. In other words, it has increased by 30 million per year and had increased by 150 million during the last 5 years. Again, this growth has not been the same in rural and urban areas. My friends, they have said that this digital divide is mainly economic reason, but the picture of India, it does not say so, because digital divide, obviously there is the economic reason, but there is also a rural and urban reasons. The picture, the statistics say that the 75th round of national sample survey between July 2017 and June 2018 shows that only 4.4% of rural areas have computers. Only 4.4% of rural areas have computers, while 14.4% of urban areas have computers. This means that while only 14.9% of households in the village have internet access, only 14.9% of households in the village have internet access, then 42% of households in the city have this access. This is not last. Economic reason, rural-urban reason, and the unfortunate reason for digital divide is gender divide. Gender divide. But this digital divide is not only for economic reasons. We also have a gender divide in our country. There is only one phone in a family, which the head of the house takes away when he goes to work. There is only one phone in a family, but more than one member of that house is a student. Then who will be left and who will be given that phone? On the other hand, the Mobile Gender Gap report was published in March 2020. According to GSMA, an association of industry organization representing the interest of mobile network operators worldwide, in our country, according to GSMA, in our country, where 79% of men have mobile phones, only 63% of women own mobile phones. So, this gender gap is not only for economic reasons, but also for social and cultural reasons. I have said before that this digital divide is not only in our country, it is worldwide. Here is the statistics. Only 4% of all computers used in the world are used in developing countries. Only 4%. Only New York City has more web owners than the whole of the continental Africa. Finland, a small country in Europe, has more web hosts than Latin America and the entire Caribbean island. Finland, a small country. Developed countries account for 45% of the world's internet access, developed countries, where only 4% is in the developing country. The number of internet subscribers across the African continent is 6.3 million. Number of internet subscribers across the African continent is 6.3 million, compared to 34.3 million in UK alone. United Kingdom, Britain, there 34.3 million, where in the African continent 6.3 million. Keeping this division in mind, former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said, the newly discovered information and communication technology are the main driving force of globalization. They bring together policymakers and decision makers to open the door to unimaginable possibilities for development. At the same time, it is widening the gap between haves and haves not, and there is a growing uncertainty about the participation of poor countries in today's knowledge-based developing economy. Knowledge-based developing economy. At the same time, this affordable internet connection has made clear the divide between rich and poor, employed and unemployed, student out of classroom and workers out of work, etc. But while the COVID-19 corona brought a communism in the world with its attacking power and character, irrespective of rich and poor, powerful and general people, celebrities and ordinary people, it also uncovered the extremely inequality in enjoying the benefit of technology. It is also, we have discovered, it is clear that the extremely inequality in enjoying the benefits of technology. We, the library professionals, used to call ourselves teacher without classroom. But COVID-19 led pandemic situation has made teachers and students out of classroom today. This is another kind of communism, we say. Welcoming this communism, both of us must be virtually connected using the digital platform today. And by opening the library at this time of compulsory isolation, library professionals will assure library users that library is closed, librarians not. One of the participants in this webinar, I want to know from Nivedita ma'am the link. So I can supply them if they send their email address, then I can send them 63 links where crores of ebooks, journals, etc. They can buy easily accessible with free access. They can do this. And at the same time, in this pandemic situation, very journals, publishers, they are providing free access to the institution. We are also enjoying this. My university, the librarian has to offer them, librarian to request the journals, publishers, that for this situation, for this pandemic situation, I will request you to please allow our students, allow my students to access freely of your journal. They will provide this. So, here participants, where the library professionals, they can easily send the request. They can request the publishers, and they will help them. They will cooperate them. We have also getting this cooperation from all kinds of publishers of journals, etc. Thank you very much.
Shravani.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative session, especially your practically thinking. It will help us a lot and to our society. We have received a number of good questions, sir, but due to time factor, we are taking only a few questions. Sonjit Kundu asked, which are the factors responsible for decreasing or increasing digital divide and access to equality of education?
Now, what I'm trying to say that digital divide for the regions, not only economic regions, there is also gender divide. There is also the divide between rural and urban. In all these cases, depend upon this dividation of digital dividation, and we have to counter this. We have to combat all this. Uh, in my practical experience, I am sharing you all these activities, and we are providing the 5 crores of e-resources. So you can do this easily. You can do this in our district, in our thana. They are only a cable operator. A cable operator, they are giving a channel, their channel. They are providing classes, e-classes to the students of the rural people. That is a radio system. That is a radio system from the rural area. Then in my university, our students are enjoying the facility from this radio from the rural area. So we can easily combat all these difficulties arises due to this pandemic situation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Another questions from Aurobindo Maji. How can we provide informations or resources or documents our users online from home? Our teachers are teaching online, but we are feeling helpless to serve our users.
Aurobindo Maji from Islampur College. Am I audible, Aurobindo?
You are audible, sir.
All these things I am discussing here. We are not helpless in that situation, in that point of question. If I am from a rural university, that is the marginal university of our West Bengal, if I can provide 5 crores of e-resources to my students, to my teachers, faculty, then why anyone can do this? What I am saying that it is due to our sincerity, goodwill, depend upon all this of the library professionals, so that they can do this. Okay, Aurobindo.
Okay, sir. Now there are last questions for you, sir. There is no practical thinking or ways for delivering library services to the school student of West Bengal. Would you please tell the way?
There is a problem. There is a problem. We cannot avoid by the.
আমি একটা বলে দেই
Yes, sir. You please continue.
In the school, where is our infrastructure? In the normal situation, what is the condition of the school? What are you thinking about the school? Is there any separate library in each school? There is no. So you don't need. Libraries is closed. Libraries are closed. Your school are closed. You from your home, you can provide these services. Contact your student. In my university, daily usage 40 to 50 students. And in this pandemic situation, the transaction from my e-library, WhatsApp and Telegram app, through WhatsApp and Telegram app, 600 students, teachers are interacting daily. So maybe the school have no infrastructure, maybe there is no any resources, but that is not the question here. Here all those are closed. School, public libraries, universities, college libraries, they are closed. Your home is your library. Your laptop is your library. Your mobile phone is your library. And you can provide these services if you have a goodwill, if you have sincerity, if you have a love with library, books, and your users. You can do this.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us time and satisfying our participants by answering their questions and present in this platform. Thank you so much.
Sarvani, one more question, Sarvani.
Yes, sir.
I can what I say, I can give them 63 sources 63
Okay, sir.
sources
Okay,
like
sir.
Swam, online courses, Swam, Prova, virtual labs, e-Jantro, e-Kalpo, uh, Vidyan, talk to a teacher, Shodh Gangruti, e-Shodh Sindhu, Infoport, Egris, etc. etc. 62 free. We can enjoy free facilities from these 62 where crores of resources. So if anyone wants, please call me, give your internet email address, I will send you. I will send you. And if
Okay,
you
sir.
want to get any PDF, any link of journals, any ebooks, you send your name, address, and occupation to my WhatsApp number and send your requisition. What you need, I will send you all these.
Okay, sir. Better. You, sir, please provide to YouTube live chat box your email ID. So that's good enough.
My WhatsApp number 9434330815.
Okay. Okay. Thank.
9434330815. Please contact
Okay.
with me. I will help you. I will cooperate my professional colleagues, all my professional colleagues. He may be the librarian of rural library. He may be the librarian of school, college, university, or private library.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I convey my regards to all the eminent speakers. Now we came at the last portion to our webinar. So I would like to request to librarian of Garhbeta College, Mr. Proloy Bhattacharya, to address the vote of thanks. Proloy, over to you.
Savani, may I audible, Savani?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Very good evening to all. So today we came to end of the lively webinar. We are immensely enriched from the discussion of today's webinar. First of all, I convey my thanks to our principal of both college, Dr. Swapna Khalai of Ramananda College and Dr. Hud Prasad Sarkar of Garhbeta College. Without their cooperation, we could not be able to organize this webinar today. I also express my gratitude to all the learned speakers, Honorable Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya ma'am, Dr. Soman Mulik sir, and C. Pranav Hajra sir. I am also grateful to participants from India and all over the world and colleagues who have listened the lectures delivered by experienced teachers and librarians of this field. I extended my special thanks to the presidents of our two colleges, Professor Samuel Sadra of Ramananda College and Sri Narayan Chandra Maiti of Garhbeta College for allowing us to conduct this webinar. I also thanks to Dr. Rajlukhi Mukherjee ma'am and Dr. Abhijit Banerjee for their technical support. Last but not least, I would like to thank web platform like Google Meet, YouTube, and software like OBS for providing us such space for conducting the web lecture in such a crisis we are going through. I convey my best wishes to all of you with this vote of thanks. The feedback link is already been shared in live chat box. Please successfully submit the feedback link within 24 hours. Certificate will be provided later. This one more thing, anyone wish to access the e-resources, please contact Sir Pranav Hajra sir. Sir, thank you, sir, for giving us an opportunity. Thank you, sir. The meeting is over now.
Most
Thank you.
welcome. Most welcome.
The meeting is over now. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Proloida, for it of the session. Thank you all.
Thank you, Stravoni.
Thank you.